friend, and welcome back. Today this is a Friday that it's being filmed, so I want to kind of close out the week with a little message about kindness and compassion. I think that this is really a time that these things truly need to be exercised, and not just exercised when it's convenient for you, but exercised all the time, and to be keeping that in the forefront of your mind. Because if you are spiritually awakened, you are probably aware, because you probably to some degree went through it yourself. Most people awaken out of pain or trauma, and it's not always going to be like that, but that kind of is the way it is right now and has been. And I say that as a spiritually awakened person, or you've experienced it, because you can probably relate. If you have pain or trauma in your past, especially in childhood, you might be able to relate it to the place you are now spiritually. And the reason why I bring that up is because we are going through a mass collective spiritual awakening, which is being perpetuated by pain and by suffering right now. So we really want to show the ultimate compassion to people right now, because as a spiritually awakened person, you can understand that they might be going through some pain, and that pain is what is going to lead them eventually to a spiritual awakening. But it's not negating that pain any less. So having that ultimate compassion for people is really, really important in navigating these times, because having that compassion for where people are coming from, with the understanding behind it that there is a divine reason for it, and that reason would be to awaken, to open their eyes, then you can, handle them with much more compassion and a little bit more understanding. And, a lot of times when I go, because we're human and it's natural to judge, when I feel like I am about to judge someone, I took a meditation course, and the teacher said you just want to say to yourself, they are just like me. They are just like me in some point of my life, of a way, maybe if someone's acting in a way that you wouldn't agree with, you can probably reflect onto a point on your life where you acted similarly. Did that person do something out of fear? Did that person do something out of anger? Did that person do something for the lack of the knowledge of getting out of their thinking mind and into their heart? When you start to put it into that perspective, you are able to maybe then show them a little more kindness and compassion, because you have the empathy of knowing where they're coming from. And maybe you say like, oh, well, I can't relate to them. I've never done anything like that. Then just go back to your connection of knowing that we are all one. If that doesn't work for you, and if it's not working for you in the moment, understand that they are just a different version of you. They are a version of you in a different human experience. So that can also bring you back to your compassion. And I say this video, and I wanted to bring this up and talk about this on this video, because judgment and being harsh on people is not going to get us where we need to be. This is a time that we need to be coming together, and it is much easier to come together if we are showing each other kindness and compassion. And that kindness and compassion will then trickle over. We know that energy is a ripple effect. So it's going to be a domino effect. One thing is going to affect another. And that is so important, because you may think that a small act of kindness isn't going to do anything, but the reality is you have no idea the ripple that small act of kindness is going to set off. It's not meant for you to know. It's just meant for you to know that it does send off a ripple, and it is never, no act of kindness, no ever, doesn't matter how small, is ever a waste of time or waste of energy. It is always the right move. Being kind and compassionate is always the right move. And now, it doesn't mean that you let people walk all over you or that you can't draw a boundary. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, in your day-to-day life, to act with a little bit more compassion, because people are going through a lot right now, and you are very lucky and blessed if you are an awakened person, because gives you a little bit more of a zoomed out perspective. You can kind of put things into a perspective to where you can handle it a little bit better. You know, you can move through these times with a little bit less suffrage. You can actually thrive during these times. But you just want to imagine imagine yourself before you were awakened. And then imagine yourself going through these times before you were awakened. And then that can put a little bit more compassion for people that are unawakened. Because remember, it's everyone's soul's journey. So, this is not the time for judgment of, well, you should be more awakened by now. Your eyes should be a little bit more opened right now. This is not the time for that, because that judgment is not productive. It's not productive for you, and it's not productive for the person that you are judging. So I really would like to get into our hearts and to act from our hearts right now. How does our heart truly want to treat our fellow human beings? With love and with compassion and with kindness, because it is through those actions that we will be unified. It is not through judgment and harshness that we are going to get to the unified consciousness that we need to be at, that we have to get at for survival, basically, at this point. And that is why people are going through a lot of pain right now. It's because it's that divine squeeze to have them open their eyes and awaken. So that is why we need to release judgment of these times and of people going through these times. We need to not judge, we need to be kind, and we need to be compassionate. And that is our message for today. I hope to move through my own day with more kindness and compassion. Oh, and I want to end it. I did want to say one more thing about this. This kindness and compassion needs to be firstly and most forefront showed to yourself. That needs to be reflected to yourself. You need to be kind, compassionate, gentle, and loving to yourself right now, mostly. So let's not forget that. That's number one, because once we start showing that kindness to ourselves, it makes it much easier to show that kindness to other people. So let's move through our day showing ourselves kindness and being gentle, but also sharing that and showing that to the world. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Anne, and I hope to see you next time.